Hey gang, how's it going? Patrick here. Just gonna do a real quick one today. I've got detailed plans for basically everything I'm about to discuss with you, but I wanted to get a couple of quick impressions out there. So the usual. That's right. I want you to subscribe. I want you to like the video. And I want you to keep coming back, tell your friends. So like I said, we were going to do just some quick impressions. I don't have a whole lot of things loaded up on the big system, so I'm just going to hold up the books as they display on my tablet because they're all PDFs right now, and while the hard copies are coming, they're not available yet. So we're going to start off with something I've been looking forward to for a long time. Let's see if I can get you. There we go. Less glare. The Savage Worlds of Flash Gordon. I have been waiting for this for a long time. I think Shane Hensley at Pinnacle mentioned that he was going to be doing this game in like 2015. So it took a while to show up, but it is, I haven't had a chance to read it completely in depth. I backed it on the Kickstarter, and I've got a lot of PDFs. So that was just the core book, but it's gorgeous. It is a beautiful, beautiful piece of work from what I've read so far. It concentrates mostly on the original comics by Alex Raymond, but you may have noticed that the logo was the classic logo from the 1980 Dino De Laurentiis production, starring Sam Jones, complete with soundtrack by Queen. You can, it includes that. It includes the serials with Buster Crabbe from the 30s. So it is a very comprehensive piece of work. I'm very pleased that I backed this. I will be getting hard copies of this and a couple of the supplements at some point in time. But for right now, they've got all these PDFs either available now or in the pipeline. Like with everything, I've got links down in the description with any kind of gaming purchase. If you decide to get it from DriveThru RPG, then I would ask you to go through my affiliate link, just because it helps me get some store credit on DriveThru. I've also included links directly to the publishers for most of these, because you can get them directly that way. But Flash Gordon, Savage Worlds is a nice system. You can do miniatures easily with it if you do desktop minis within your role playing game. But the tagline for Savage Worlds is fast, furious, and fun, and it really lives up to its name. From what I've seen, especially with Flash Gordon, there are a couple of cool mechanics introduced in the Flash Gordon book, like cliffhangers. So right there, you're definitely playing the 1930s serials, because that's how they ended them every week. Every Saturday morning, Flash Gordon was in a lot of trouble, and you had no idea how he was going to get out of it. My real introduction to Flash Gordon was the 1980 movie, and I was so glad they were able to incorporate bits and pieces of it into the game. Here we go. Whoops. Honest to goodness, folks, I will get used to this one of these days. I've got to do something about the lighting and get some of this stuff as images on the screen. But there you are. Full color PDF. I can't remember what the price is right now. Actually, I got on Kickstarter. I want to say it's $19.99. Either through Pinnacle or DriveThru. You can't go wrong if you have any interest at all in the Flash Gordon universe. And if you don't, what's wrong with you, man? You could not do much better than this. I think it's a very solid book. I'll be doing a more detailed review and looking into some of the other PDF perks that I got with the Kickstarter in another video later on. All right, moving right along. Got two different releases for Star Trek Adventures. The Command Division Sourcebook / Rules Supplement and the Beta Quadrant Sourcebook. Gonna handle those kind of both at the same time here, but start with Command Sourcebook. Both of these are nicely done. I'm very happy. I really like the Command book because it expands a lot of talents. It explains some focuses that you can use that are especially good for Command and Con / Helm officers. What's most notable is the fact there's like 24 Starship space frames in here. You've got the Constitution refit from the movies. You've got the NX class from Enterprise. You've got some Romulan ships. You've got... No, scratch that. That's another book. I'll get to those in a minute. Sorry. My bad. In any event, you've got a lot of starships across all eras of Trek, all the way from 2151 up to 2371 and beyond. Some of the ships, guys, the Hermes class from the Franz Joseph technical manual is in Command Sourcebook. The Luna class, which famously counts among its numbers the USS Titan, commanded by one Captain William T. Riker, is in the Command Sourcebook. So it's loaded. There is a lot of good information. You get information on what the Command Division actually does, because it's more than just sitting in the captain's chair or sitting in the pilot's seat. The Command Division includes, for instance, the Judge Advocate General's office. The book has information on how to run higher ranking campaigns. You can run an Admiralty campaign if you so desire. Even if you don't choose to, having that information handy can give you a big leg up on populating the world, making it feel more real as you narrate a campaign. High marks. They've got some NPCs in here. I was very surprised and very pleased to see Commodore Robert April statted up in here. Ambassador Sarek is statted up, as is Ambassador Lwaxana Troy. So they cover the gamut of eras. It really looks very much on the surface, just because of the way it's marketed and the imagery they choose for covers. It looks very much like it's a next generation game, but I can assure you, as someone who's playing in a TOS movie era game right now using Star Trek Adventures, it's just window dressing. There's a lot of support in terms of people and things and for other eras besides next generation. So if you feel like you're getting ripped off there, you're not. You're fine. Which brings us to the other Star Trek adventures. If I can get it to open. There we go. Which is the Beta Quadrant Sourcebook. I have got to work on lighting and stuff, and getting cover images off of my PDFs, and maybe I'll flash them up that way too, just so you can get a better picture. But I want to show you, it's so cool. The Beta Quadrant Sourcebook came out before the Alpha Quadrant because the Beta Quadrant is where the Klingons live, and we wanted to get information on the Klingons out there as quickly as possible. That was seen as a big failing with the Decipher game, particularly not getting a Klingon sourcebook out so that people would have their warrior campaigns. The Beta Quadrant sourcebook takes care of you. It's got a lot of information on the Romulans, on the Klingons, on the Gorn. It's got spaceships, space frames for all those species. It's got something like a dozen playable species, Klingon player characters, Deltans, Ephrodsians, the cool looking helmsman in Star Trek 4 at the beginning on the Saratoga, Ephrodsian, very cool. It's got Xindi from Enterprise. I don't completely understand that one, but I was glad to see it. Most importantly, for a lot of people, it's got playable Klingons. It's got NPC level races set up for Gorns, some more information on the Romulans. It's got Gorn starships, Klingon and Romulan starships. Lots and lots of information on the Beta Quadrant. Both of these books, they're not technically for sale as standalone PDFs yet, but if you pre-order the hard copy books from Modiphius or have bought one of their PDF bundles like the PDF collection or the Borg Cube, they have the PDFs out as perks for pre-ordering. The standalone books will be out soon. I want to say Command is due April-ish, with Beta Quadrant coming in May. But they will be available as standalones soon. But if you, like I say, if you buy one of the big bundles, you can get them early. But they're both very nicely done. Again, was very happy to see, like for instance, the Deltans for a movie or a support especially. So those two are out. I plan on talking about them in a little more detail in separate videos, and talking about how to incorporate them into your games. But I wanted to let you know what they are and what I thought of them. They're out there. Like I say, there are links for Modiphius' website and the Star Trek line on DriveThru RPG down in the description of the video. And finally, the last impression of today, something that just was released to backers of the Kickstarter today. I don't know when it will go on sale commercially yet, but the backers for the Kickstarter got their PDFs today for Top Secret New World Order. Some of us also got PDFs for the first adventure called The White Queen. I haven't even looked at it yet. All I've done is a real quick skim today. I have not had a chance to read it in anything like detail just yet. First skim it looks very old school. It's black and white, throughout inside. It seems kind of crunchy, but it does seem to be able to handle one of my personal desires for it. It seems to be able to handle a gamut of espionage, spy caper type adventures, ranging anywhere from The Man from U.N.C.L.E. from the 1960s all the way up to much more recent fare like Vin Diesel's Triple X, which is way more cinematic. And just about everything in between. The default does seem to be somewhere in the grittier James Bond category. So like, the Connery and Daniel Craig films seem to be more of a default. Let's see. It looks very old school. There's tables, spanning several pages. It's all black and white on the inside, and there's a lot. It seems like there's a lot of crunch, but the book, including table of contents and index and references, and that is like 124 pages. It's not a big book, so I mean, this is not going to be a huge slog. I don't know when Top Secret NWO is going to be available. Let's see. The backers just got their PDFs today. The box is just shipped as I record this, sometime last week. So I'm going to reserve judgment on that, as with the other books I've talked about in this. I'm going to be doing a more in-depth video, including an unboxing when my set gets here. We'll take a look at it. We'll make judgments then. But it looks like it should be serviceable. The system seems fairly quick and clean. Your stats are based on individual die types, so you don't have a strength of 14. You have a pulse of D10, which is really healthy. It runs, it uses all the polys. You're taking a stat die, something related to a skill, and something else. You're rolling 3 dice trying to total up to 13 or better. The system's called Lucky 13. As I said, I have not had a chance to do anything but give it the most cursory skim, but it's there. Things are starting to get real with Top Secret. Some of us were kind of starting to wonder. So I'll be getting with you more as I get the chance. In the meantime, that's about it for today. I just wanted to get a quick one up, talking about some of these books that I've been accumulating and haven't had a chance to talk about yet. And I really want to talk about them. So, usual nice stuff. Love me. Please. Let us, let me have, leave comments down below if you have any questions. Future episodes coming up include some of the stuff that I talked about on the first part of my chat with Barry Scott Will. We're going to be talking about Ultraman, doing the detailed looks at Command Sourcebook and Beta Quadrant Sourcebook for Star Trek Adventures. We'll have an unboxing for Top Secret New World Order, and I really want to have a talk about Flash Gordon, and if it could be adapted for other things that may have featured Buster Crabbe at some point in the past. But that's it for now. Thanks for coming by. Go visit some of the producers of games. Visit their websites. Let us know what you think. Tell everybody I said hello. Have a good night. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.